Hey everyone, this is Cecil Graham here and I'm gonna play some video games while drinking some wine. I'm about one bottle in. I'm cheap. And I love this Sutter Home White Zinfandel. It's so stupid, but it's so good. Like, it is so good, man. Now, I do have to say, because I do currently work in a liquor store, if you are under the age of 21, do not drink. If you live in California, make sure a parent is home. Because I think there's a law in California where technically you can drink so long as, like, if you're under 21, you have to make sure that your parent is home, that you are supervised. Because there are some kids who will have, like, a little glass of wine at dinner, etc., etc. I can't open this. There we go. But anyways, so, yeah. Don't drink, kids, you'll turn into me. Oh, it's a lot better cold. I've only had it like room temperature. Anywho, on with the game. Thanks for joining me today. So last time, here we go. We had just gotten off to a cliffhanger, and it was oh man. Oh, this is about to get pretty heartbreaking. Actually, it hurts. It hurts so good. Funny enough, something did happen. And it was certainly no laughing matter. Cold. It was really cold. The rain became heavier that afternoon, accompanied by rolling thunder now and then. The skies had turned dark, though I couldn't see any of it under the black umbrella. Not that I was looking up. In fact, looking up was the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. Okay, but the writing though. Like, okay. Choice of words. There you go. I mean, if that's what she wanted to do, I need to be nicer. I'm so mean to this game. I stared at the grass beneath my feet, unable to look up at the people weeping around me. All I could see was the damp grass underneath my feet. Only the monotone eulogies that floated through my ears reminded me that I was at a funeral. It was only when the speeches ended that I finally was able to raise my head. A small gathering of people, mostly made of relatives that I didn't even know were related to me, were huddled around a simple small grave. Harold Anderson, forever in our hearts. No years. For a while, all I heard was the sound of raindrops on umbrellas. If it weren't raining, everything would probably be in a heavy silence. I looked beside me, where my father was standing and holding up a large black umbrella for our small family of 3. His face was motionless, a strange sight next to my weeping mother. I wondered what was going through his mind. After all, etched into the smooth gray tombstone before us was his father's name. My grandfather, the one who raised me like his own daughter, had passed away that day. The ceremony was small, only close family were allowed to come. Slowly, though, people began to leave, leaving my father, mother, and me behind at the grave. A man dressed in a clean black suit under the uniform black umbrella of the funeral attendees walked toward us, introducing himself as grandfather's lawyer. He pulled out a few documents from his suitcase and began to read aloud its contents. Do you understand what I mean by, like, there's, like, one voice actor who does most of the lines in this, though? Like, it's there. It's that voice actor. It's that one. Only my parents and I were allowed to be present for my grandfather's will. It was under the strict request of his lawyer, and there was a reason why.
And to my dearest granddaughter, I give my estate. All the furniture and decor that resides within the house shall also be given to my granddaughter.
Granddaddy. You sure do know how to spoil a girl. Person. I never came out to you, Grandpappy, but I'm agender. I wonder if he'd still give this to me if he knew. Oh well, dead now. What? Oh right, my name's Jorge. George. It's George. My name's George. I couldn't believe my ears. I had earned the family estate at 18? That was impossible, and yet it was written by my own grandfather's hand.
He passed the family estate to her? Why am I not surprised?
Because you're a bad daddy.
Did he say anything about what will become of the CEO and chairman position of the Anderson Toys Company? No. It is presumed that the vice chairman will succeed the position. Even to the bitter end, he wouldn't give in. What a stubborn old man.
Listen. Okay, but why are my parents so young and hot looking? Is it because I'm an adult that I look at them like that and I'm like, dang? Or is it that they were drawn young and hot looking? Like, I can't tell. Shaking his head, my father turned. So my landlady has people. My landlady has people over, and I'm sorry if you hear that, but they're having a good time. They are also under the influence of alcohol. So, anywho, shaking his head, my father turned to face my mother with a serious expression on his face.
About the estate. Should we send her there to get used to the building? It'll be a good place for her to live after high school.
Are you sure we should?
Why not? This would be a good experience for her.
Why don't we talk about this after I am done mourning? But no, my padre's a dick.
Honey, what do you want?
Like my real padre. What do I want? I really wasn't sure what to say. Why did my grandfather think that I was the appropriate heir to the mansion? Was I even ready to live on my own? I don't know. I can cook pretty damn good, but I mean, whatever, Jorge. Go ahead and doubt yourself.
Well, that seems to be it. We'll be taking our leave now. I'm sure the little heiress needs some time to adjust.
Oh my god. Listen, maybe if you hadn't been such a dick, I would have
David!
oh, zoom! Oh no, my wife's about to come after me. Even though she raised her voice, my dad wordlessly began walking back to the car disinterested. Listen, he did not walk. He fucking knew. He zoomed. He was gone. Oh my god.
Don't mind him, honey. I think that your grandfather's passing really affected him. Why don't we get back home for now?
Mom, I just realized you have a lisp and it's really cute. Mom, you're so cute. You can go ahead to the car, Mom. I think I need some time alone with Grandpa.
Oh, of course. Take all the time you need.
She gave me a quick hug and hurried after my dad. I looked around the funeral grounds, which was completely empty save for the sullen-looking grave that was laid in front of me. I'm sure that if Grandpa were in charge of arranging all this, it would have been much different. It was blatantly obvious that my dad was in charge of the whole event. Who else would bury their own family the same day they passed away? Everyone knew my grandfather's love for toys, and yet the grave was a mere stone slab on the ground, void of any children's toys. My dad didn't even bother putting flowers. Well, there's one colored flower. Oh wait, there's a few colored flowers in this. His disdain for my grandfather was almost pitiful. Well, that's because Grandpappy was... Never mind. Sorry, Grandpa. I tried to force out some words, but the only thing that came out was a choked sob. He told me to stay strong, but right now I'm the farthest from it. Like that. Oh boy, here we go. Flashback. Listen, this beginning is so full of flashbacks. I might just condense it into 2 hours. But I don't know. Like that one time a long time ago. Grandpa!
It's you again, sweetie.
I was swept into a giant bear hug, and we both laughed as he swung me around like an airplane. It was one of my favorite things about seeing my grandfather, the way he greeted me. Unlike my father, my grandfather was loving and playful, even as I grew older. Sorry that Daddy couldn't be here today. He said he wasn't feeling too good again. It had always been like that. Dad missed every visit to Grandpa's house, citing that he was busy with work or wasn't feeling well.
Is that so? Well, that's okay. Daddy can come around next time. And you're here, right?
Yeah. Wait. Okay, but why is Grandpa hot too? Can we talk about hot Grandpa here? Yeah. So what are we doing today, Grandpa? Mommy says that there's a new dessert cafe open in town. Maybe we could go? Okay, how old am I that I know what a cafe is? When I was that age, I didn't know what a cafe was. All I knew was that if you said the word dessert, I was like, yeah. There's a new dessert open in town. Tell me about it. There were no cafes when I was younger. Or there were, but they were like not well known. But anyway.
Oh, I would love to, but I've been so busy with the company these days. We're actually working on a little something. Would you like to see?
Hell yeah. Yes. Oh, is that a toy? Yeah, because he runs a toy company. Right. Yeah.
It is. I was designing a new line of them, but I feel like something's missing. You don't think you could help me out, can you?
Of course. It was beautifully crafted. Wait, hold on. He placed the toy in my hands with a smile, and I inspected it carefully. It was beautifully crafted, and obviously a lot of work was put into it. There was one thing, though.
So, what do you think?
I think the heart on its chest should light up when you hug it. It'll be like it's alive, and it can be like a little night light before you sleep. He stroked his chin, considering my input while nodding his head. After a few moments of silent deliberation, he turned to me with a chuckle.
That's a great idea. I'll get to changing it right away. You're always like my little lucky charm, dear. You always know what to add to make the perfect toy.
Well, I hope I can be like you one day, Grandpa.
You want to make toys as well?
Well, making people happy is the best feeling in the world. I don't know if I want to make toys when I grow up, though.
Don't worry too much about it. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy as well.
That makes sense. Daddy doesn't think of it the same way, though.
Your father. I'm sure he just wants the best for you.
I'm not so sure about that.
Sweetie, look at me.
He bent down to look at me eye level with a serious look on his
As
face.
much as your father may say something that doesn't make sense now, you must remember that he's always thinking about you. He loves you. There's no doubt about that. And you need to love him just as equally.
Nah, he's a dick. I don't hate Daddy. I really do love him, I say as a child. I don't know any better. No, I'm kidding. I don't know why he's like this, though.
Your father and I have had some difficulties with each other in the past, but it's nothing that you should be concerned about.
I had heard tidbits of this from my mother and various other people. The only people who had stayed quiet were my father and grandfather. Both of them refrained from saying a word on the subject matter, but it was clear that whatever happened set up a wall between them. It's hard, though, trying to pretend as if nothing were wrong.
However, no matter what, you have to stay strong. You're a big girl already, and, well, there'll come a day when it seems like it's you against the world. But always remember that your family and friends will be here with you. Daddy, Mommy, your friends at school, me. We'll stand together till you're grown.
But you're dead now! How can you be so sure of that?
Because we'll be right here and here.
He pointed his finger to my head first, then pointed at my chest.
So stay strong. Promise?
No! For a moment he looked almost sad, pleading. But as quickly as it had come, the expression disappeared from his face, and he was all smiles once again. Promise. Upon hearing that, Grandpa let out a great burst of laughter and stood up.
All right then, enough of hiding. How about I whip up some special homemade dessert? I know it kept you company at that new cafe, but we sure can talk and eat while I cook and do some paperwork.
Homemade dessert? I'll race you to the kitchen.
Hey, slow down there. I'm not what I used to be.
You certainly look it, though, Grandpa. You certainly look it. You willed me the very home I loved to see you in. Why? Why would you think I would be ready to take it, especially after this? A surge of anger bubbled within me, but I quickly swallowed it. There was no use in getting mad, especially when the person in question was no longer there. I'm sorry. It's hard to stay calm when you've left me with so many questions, especially about what happened between you and Dad. What am I doing? Talking to a grave. My vision blurred, and I suddenly realized that I was crying. My face heated up as tears rolled down my cheeks. I'll bring you some flowers later. I miss you, Grandpa. I'll try my best to fulfill my promise I gave to you, even if the world might be turned against me. I left the grave, wiping my tears hastily so my parents wouldn't see.
Well, it's time to head back home. I'll cook up your favorite lasagna when we get home, okay?
Thanks, Mom. However, my dad didn't speak the entire drive home. I wanted to talk to him, but after his moment at the funeral, I wasn't sure if that was a good idea.
It's about time you took off those dreary black clothes.
Gathering my courage, I decided then it was time to talk. I'm determined. Oh man, Dad, could I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Why do you want me to move into the estate so
I
soon?
thought I made that rather clear. The college near your grandfather's house is well known for its business program. You are planning to major in business, yes? Right after you graduate from high school, you'll just live there and can easily commute to and from school. It's a perfect fit for you.
But it's so sudden. You just decided so quickly after the funeral.
Don't be so sensitive. If you're like that in the real world, you'll be crushed.
How about I crush you, Padre? I'm just saying that maybe we could talk a bit more about my future. In reply, my father rubbed his temples and sighed
After you
quietly.
graduate from college, you'll work at Anderson Family Toys. I have connections since I am part of the board of directors, so you will be guaranteed a spot. That is what we talked about before, yes?
But what if...
Stop mumbling.
But what if I don't want to work there?
Don't be silly. It's the family company. Our company. I'm not just going to hand it over to some incompetent vice chairman.
I know exactly how to get back at him. I know who I'm gonna romance. He came closer to me, and his face softened.
This is all for the best, okay? You may not know it right now, but you will appreciate it later.
For some reason, when I heard him say that, something snapped in me. I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but it made me feel so angry. Do you even care that grandfather passed away?
Of course I do.
Well, everything seems fine and dandy to you. Things couldn't be better.
Excuse me? I don't like your tone, young lady.
It's like nothing even happened at all. Like you just ignored the fact that he's no longer here.
Do not raise your voice at me.
What did he ever do to you to deserve this? My father, his face hardened, crossed his arm and erupted in angry laughter.
Ha! You sure place him upon a pedestal, like he's some kind of venerated god or something. It makes me sick.
Is that it? Are you happy seeing grandfather dead? While everyone was grieving, you were just holding yourself back from laughing in everyone's faces? Did you feel just a bit happier seeing him lie in the graveyard? A flash of rage crossed his face, and he whipped the back of his hand across my cheek. I cannot read.
You don't know anything! Running your mouth like somehow you know everything that went on, when you're just a little girl that doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut!
How dare you?
You did not know my father. You did not know what he was capable of.
Like summoning some demons? Ay, LMAO. I also know he was hot. Now, if only some of his good side could have passed on to you, Padre.
Is everything alright? What happened?
Nothing. I'm not hungry. I think I'll just go upstairs.
Honey, wait!
I quickly turned and ran up the stairs to my room, slamming the door behind me. My breath came in short pants, and for a while I just leaned against the door to my bedroom, eventually sliding down to sit against it. How did things become like this? My cheeks still throbbed, and I tentatively stood up and looked at the mirror to see how it looked. Hopefully it doesn't bruise. What am I saying? Tears formed in the corners of my eyes, but I blinked them back rapidly. I couldn't cry for the second time today. I had to be stronger than that. Listen, crying is good for you. If you can cry, that means you're strong. Everybody likes to pretend being emotionless doesn't, makes you weak or something. The opposite. Because if you can continue being soft without growing, hardened and just emotionless, if you are willing to make yourself vulnerable through showing emotions, God, that makes you so strong. That's some strong shit right there. Go ahead and cry, Jorge. This is what I mean by women supporting other women. I'm fine. I just lost my appetite. Listen, let me come eat that lasagna and tell you all about how Daddy just hit me. Yeah, don't worry about me, Mom. I'll come downstairs later to eat. You're right. I should be telling you the whole story. Why am I not telling you everything? I just don't want to eat right now. She's begging. I want to tell you, but the stupid character won't tell you. I wanted to tell her. A part of me, was screaming to tell her what Dad had done. At the same time, I knew she couldn't fix anything. Besides, I was moving out regardless. I remained silent, letting the event remain in the past. Damn right I do. I love food. Finally, my mom left me alone. It was strange to think that she was only a few inches away from me, only separated by a single wooden door. Yet she felt like a million miles away. I really didn't know what to do. I needed to do something, anything to get my mind off of what just happened. Anything would be better than thinking any more about the pain still radiating from my cheek. I was going to move into my grandfather's house tomorrow. I should probably pack my stuff so I would be prepared for tomorrow. Yeah, that was a good idea. I should start packing. I opened the closet, rummaging around for a while before I finally found 2 large bags. Pulling them out onto the floor of my room, I then began to empty my drawers and cabinets so that I could bring all my things with me. I didn't have much to bring, so other than just clothes and some toiletries, it was kind of bizarre that I didn't have many personal belongings. Because I'm a boring teenage girl, and I surprisingly don't have that many things. Stupid. It wasn't like my luggage was completely devoid of them, but I certainly didn't have many things in my room that I would miss if I just suddenly left the house. I shook my head to rid myself of those thoughts. If it were going to be my new home, it would have to feel like it, one way or another. I was going to make it a home. Good. The weep music plays! Oh man, this is intense. I slid my phone out of my pocket and answered it while slowly easing myself onto my bed. Who could possibly be calling? I'm really glad you guys called. My voice managed to come out, though it was only a whisper. No, my grandpa died. Well, I slowly began to tell them about the funeral that afternoon. A small silence followed when I was done recounting what happened, and to my relief, Natalie finally spoke up. Yes! No, it's okay. My dad isn't in a good mood, so could we just keep talking on the phone like this? I'm gonna start crying. Triple that trio! I'm gonna cry! Yeah. Oh my god. We chatted cheerfully about all sorts of things. Very soon I had forgotten about the events of that day and was engaged in a conversation about Naomi's favorite TV show. Some program. Oh god! That's right, I forgot. I forgot that the people who made this game are fucking Whovians. We all agreed that the actor playing the titular character certainly had a very distinctive look about him, with that long overcoat and scarf wrapped around his neck. Fucking Whovians. Or not Whovians. Sorry, Super Wholocks. We had many disagreements about who we thought was the coolest character. Yeah, he has really high cheekbones, and his eyes are gross. Though I do have to say I prefer Jensen. And as a bonus, his actor is just so sassy. I agree. Martin Freeman is very sassy. I love it. I looked at the clock hanging on the wall and realized how late it was. Whoa! It's already 1 a.m.? Sorry for keeping you guys up so late. I think I'm gonna hit the hay for tonight. See you guys at school tomorrow. I should probably shower and go to bed. I can't believe I stayed up this late just to talk to my friends. But it was really nice. Well, to the bathroom I go. Who does that? I took a relaxing shower. Nothing beat hot water and the feeling of being clean. After drying myself, I promptly dressed in my pajamas and crawled into bed. Ah, a nice hot shower after a long day. I'm so glad to finally be in bed. Who talks to themselves like this? Nobody. Nobody talks to themselves like this. It had been a really long day. I knew that I was wishing for something to change back in class, but I certainly wasn't expecting any of the things that happened today. And I have to go back to school tomorrow. Ugh. I curled up on my side and tightly wrapped the blankets around me. I really wasn't in the mood to be returning to school, but my dad probably would make me go just for the sake of it. It's time to go to sleep. Who does that? Nobody talks to themselves like, time to go to sleep. Okay, every once in a while I do. I won't lie. Every once in a while I do. But not this much. And not on that weird level of... I reached out to the lamp on my nightstand to turn off the lights. However, my mind was so lost in the passing of my grandfather and the thought of inheriting something so big that it haunted my mind the entire night until the next morning. I shook my head to try and clear the sleepiness out of me to no avail. I really didn't get any sleep last night. It's already time to wake up. Hey, it's school. As soon as I realized I had to go to school, I slid out of bed and looked at the vanity mirror. That's a relief. Luckily, there was barely a bruise on my cheek. You had to squint to actually see it. I doubted anyone would actually notice it unless they leaned in really close. Breathing out a sigh, I got dressed, took my backpack, and caught the bus to go to school. It wasn't even hours before everyone heard the news. I was approached in school and given condolences for my loss. However, that wasn't what shocked my friends.
Wait, so you have the whole Anderson house to yourself? Lucky as hell, man! Quit being so sensitive, Naomi. Quit being so vulgar, Suzu.
Get married already, you two. Jeez. Oh, man. Oh, I gotta make the choice. Why do I always have to divide the waifus? They should just be able to sort this out themselves. It's fine. Damn.
Of course you would side with her.
What the hell?
See? At least she knows how to have fun. I know how to have fun. You don't need to be wild to have fun.
We're talking about me getting my own house. So that I don't have to, like, go fucking balls out crazy. In this economy? In this economy? Chill out, Natalie. Guys, I'm going there after school today because my parents want me to get used to living there.
Seriously? It hasn't even been a day since you came back to school.
I know, but my parents want me to try living there as soon as possible.
Still, that's really fast. Are you going to be okay?
Of course. But even in the comfort of my best friends, life seemed to keep testing me. Right, I remember. Oof.
Hey! Don't go around shoving people like that.
Yeah, what Susan said.
Whoops. Did I strike a nerve, Capini?
Why do we have to... Ugh. She let out a small laugh as she twirled her hair around her finger. Lisette, one of the last people I wanted to see today. Listen, we used to be friends. I don't understand what this girl against girl shit is. This is stupid.
It's not me you should be apologizing to. Oh, Anderson. Hey, how's it going?
I'm alright.
Haven't you already heard, Lisette? Of what? Her grandfather's passing. Well, I'm sorry about that. I don't really watch a lot of news.
You've been friends with me since preschool, and that's all you have to say? Really? Rude.
It doesn't really sound like you mean it. I do mean it. Earnestly. Why wouldn't I?
Well, why would you bump into us like that? Is that school appropriate? Those clothes are not school appropriate. But seriously, like, why are we doing this girl fighting thing?
Typical Capini. Isn't her family involved with the mafia or something? I wouldn't be surprised if she brought out a bat from behind her back right this moment.
Isn't it the same voice actor for fucking my mom? I had nearly forgotten the crowd that followed Lisette, which was mostly comprised of people that no one wanted to see on a typical school day. No one had the slightest idea why exactly they followed Lisette around persistently, but they labeled themselves as social equals with her.
That is out of line. Suzu comes from an honest family.
You're all weebs.
Says the one whose family profits from throwing scandals. Yeah, your dad doesn't make anything unless he's in the court with dirty politicians. Hey, let's all calm down for a second, alright? I'm sure Anderson needs some time to recuperate. I mean, what just happened? We need to give her some respect.
Just stop. Stop acting like that already. Like you feel sorry for me?
What are you talking about?
I'm sure you're happy seeing me like this. You already have everything you've wanted, and now seeing me like this? Life couldn't get any better. Bitterness seeped into me, and the words started flying out of my mouth without filter. But honestly, I didn't care. I was so consumed by anger that I only saw Lisette in front of me. What exactly am I to you? Just another part of your obstacle course? Is that what I am? I'm sick of it, Lisette. I'm sick of all these charades. I'm sick of you! Gasps rose from the crowd around her, and I was brought back to the school hallway. Even my friends beside me looked at me in surprise. One girl looked like she was going to speak up, but Lisette held her hand up to stop her. There was an emotion in her face that I couldn't quite make out, but I could see a form of pity in her eyes. No, don't you dare pity me. I looked away from her. I didn't want to see that emotion in her eyes when she was talking to me. She didn't have the right to look at me that way.
I'm sorry. I know your grandfather passing away must have really taken a toll on your emotions.
She stepped towards me and put her hand on my shoulder, giving me a tiny smile, as if for old time's sake. But for some reason, I didn't feel comforted at all. Not that I was just angry at her, but the expression on her face when she leaned in close to me contorted into something complex. Something was different about her. I couldn't quite place my finger on it, but something about her had definitely changed.
Well, I'll be going for now. Track meet responsibilities and all of that stuff. See you later.
Something about Lisette made me feel uncomfortable. I wasn't just angry, but also uneasy. What was it? I had never seen her like that before. She's a lesbian and she loves me. Can I date her now? I need her. But I decided to pay no further attention to it. She continued running down the hallway with her gaggle of friends behind her. I refocused my attention to Mrs. Phillips, who was walking down the hall towards me.
Is everything alright, girls? Nothing we couldn't handle, Mrs. Phillips. Just a bunch of snobs. Suzu, hush! It was nothing, Mrs. Phillips. I see. Well, Miss Henderson, please accept my condolences for your loss.
What's up with her bobbies? I mean, not to bring attention and just stare at them. I mean, already the lack of ears is kind of unsettling and stuff like that. But what is going on with them bobbies? Them bobbies are just... Where did they go? Where did we go wrong?
Your grandfather was a good man. He really upheld the philanthropy of his company's policies, and the money that went towards charity, too.
This also sounds like me, Madre. I know, he was amazing. I really looked up to him, and I want to be as good as he was.
Well, I know that you'll be as great as your grandfather. Hell yeah, she will. She'll be 10 times better than her grandfather.
Would I? Would I really be better than my grandfather? Everyone seemed to have high expectations of me. I wanted to do my best and make my family proud, but to be better than my grandfather? I wasn't sure about that. From outside the school window, I saw a familiar blue car pull up to the curb. Undoubtedly, it was my father in the driver's seat. Oh, my ride's here. Well, I guess I'll see you both tomorrow.
Want us to come with you?
No, yeah, please. It's okay, haha. Please don't leave me in the car alone with my father. I'll be fine. Please come with me. See ya! Hey, Dad.
Hey,
Don't get honey me. As I got into the car, I noticed my father looked troubled, clutching at his steering wheel and staring straight ahead as if something was really bothering him.
about what happened yesterday. I'm sorry for yelling at you.
No, you're not.
Is your cheek still hurt?
I don't care. No, it's nothing to worry about.
I mean it. I shouldn't have laid a finger on you.
But you did.
You know that you're my most precious daughter.
Uh-huh.
You're all that I have.
Maybe you should treat people better in your life instead of taking your anger out on them. Mm-hmm. Yet he couldn't bring himself to say what he could never say to me for such a long time. I always wanted to hear those words to affirm how he really felt, but I guess even now he couldn't say it to me. I turned my head away to look out the window. There was no point in waiting for something that was never going to come. And like that, he started to drive, and the conversation between us ended. I decided to focus my attention on the passing scenery. We were taking the usual route to my grandfather's house. It was located within the vicinity of the school district, but it was still pretty far from the school and from where our house was. He had always lived alone. He insisted on doing things by himself, even at his age, living in such a large house. I wonder, how did he pass it? I wondered, did he pass away with no one at his side as well? It sounded so lonely and sad. It was strange that he decided on living all alone in his large estate. If anything, he could have lived with us, though he and my father probably would have given each other the silent treatment the entire time. Maybe living alone was preferable to that. I actually hadn't visited him for quite a while. Visits to his house were most frequent when I was a child, and I had grown up long since then. The last time I visited, though, I thought he looked just as he usually was, happy and healthy. But things change. In the back of my mind, I knew that he would have to leave one day. It wasn't like humans could live forever, could they? So why did my heart still feel so heavy? The car ride was mostly spent in silence. You know what I really, really want? Until he spoke up again. Okay, but before I get into that, I really want an otome game with robots. Like, I just want everyone to be non-binary, or, like, primarily non-binary, with some level of maybe gender or no gender, and just date robots. Like, that's what I want. I want to date robots. That's literally what I want to do. I also want to be a robot. I want a robot body, but I want to date robots. And they should be able to give you the choice of robot or human, where eventually you can get yourself into a robot body, you can stay human and get a sad ending. I don't know. All I know is that I want a robot otome game. So if anyone wants to make that happen, please do, because I was gonna, but then I couldn't.
How was school? Maintaining your grades?
Of course, right back to school. Yeah. I've been trying my best as of so far. Who knows? Maybe now I'm gonna be living alone, I'll just give up on it and say fuck you.
True. That's not really doing the best you can, is it?
Listen, Padre. With my father, only some words I said were filtered through his ears. It was difficult to keep up a conversation without eventually talking about academics or my future, even if it was something loosely based on it. He always found a way to integrate it whenever we talked.
Anyway, your belongings are in the trunk. There isn't a lot, so I'm sure you can manage bringing them inside the house. After all, you are on the road to being independent.
I think you can't handle walking into your own father's house, Padre, but I mean, don't listen to me. I'm just a kid. Who knows? Yes, I can manage on my own. The usual silence resumed between us. I really wasn't sure what to say around him, especially when most of the time we didn't share the same opinions. One question did linger in my mind, though. If he was going to justify acting so nonchalant at Grandfather's funeral, I had the right to at least know why. So, say, Dad, about you and Grandpa.
We are not talking about this.
I don't know, you hit me. I think I deserve to know. I feel like we should be, because Grandpa did leave us yesterday, so...
I wouldn't care if he had left even long before that. I do not want to hear it, and that is the end of this conversation.
As always, he managed to shut down any form of conversation related to him. It was just like what happened last night. I opened my mouth slightly, but I closed it again. It was like talking to a brick wall. It wasn't like I could find out anything by somehow arguing my way through it. All right, then. I leaned against the car door and stared out the window. I really couldn't think. What would this place be like? I don't know. You've been there. Anyways, I had been to my grandfather's house before, but it was one thing visiting, and it was another thing actually living there. How would I manage living on my own without any training to really care for a house? I knew that naturally the bills would be paid by my parents, who inherited grandfather's stocks to the corporation, but I had never lived independently before. Thinking about it made me feel like some kind of bird being pushed out of the nest. Though I was technically an adult, I felt unprepared and a bit daunted at the prospect of actually moving into a new place. Most people my age would be ecstatic moving out. After all, it would symbolize some kind of change in their lives, like being on the road to independence. But I felt like it was nothing of the sort. I really hoped I wouldn't let my parents down. I wouldn't want to let my grandfather down. What would he be saying right now? I gazed up at the passing clouds in the sky. If you're out there, grandfather, how would you be doing? Would there be anything you'd want to tell me at this moment? And of course, no answer. What was I doing? Searching for an answer in a heaven that would or would not exist? I ducked my head to stare at the blur of trees and cars from the car window. My head was definitely going into the clouds there at that moment. Either way, I found myself being driven off to my new home. The car rolled to a stop and I drifted out of my thoughts.
Here we are. Go on in.
Alright. Tell Mom I love her.
All right.
I love you, Dad. Listen, I know you can't say it back. That's fine. No, make sure to come by and visit us often. No, I'm going to miss you lots. Nothing other than a blank stare. I paused a bit before reaching for the car door handle, waiting for any form of a goodbye, but he didn't speak again. Listen, if you're such a bad dad that you can't tell your own children that you love them, you are not a dad. Okay, maybe that's not a good way to put it, but it's still kind of like, I don't know. It's questionable to say the least. Onward, butt stallion. I sighed and exited the car, hearing my dad pop open the trunk. I saw the 2 large bags I packed last night that were large enough to carry only the things I needed. I took them out, placed one bag on each shoulder, and closed the trunk. He then drove off, leaving me alone in front of the mansion. I watched the blue car fade into the distance of the road before turning to see my new home. There it is. It's huge. My grandfather gave me this. It's hard to believe. There was something about the house that I noticed and it's like still driving me up. Oh, there's balconies but no doors. No doors to the balconies. Also, I don't know. But aside from that, it's a pretty house, actually. I would totally love to live in a house like that. The house was framed by a set of tall gates, and I hesitantly pushed them aside to take in the entire estate. The house still looked like it was when I last visited him. At a glance, hold on, I'm so sorry. At a glance, it seemed kind of intimidating with its size, though if I came closer, it was clear that there was more to it than that. The brick walls were framed by shrubbery and lovely flowers, giving it a homey and welcoming look, but in contrast, the tall doors in the house gave me a feeling of grandeur. Who knew what was waiting for me? But I wouldn't back down at this moment. I took out the key to the front doors and unlocked them. Well, might as well make myself at home. I'll be staying here for quite a while anyways. That's when I saw them. Here we go, guys. Lying on the floor was a group of men. They were all unconscious, but there was no explanation as to why they were there in the first place. I dropped my bags as I let the door close on its own behind me. Oh, by the way, I haven't been able to warn anyone, but I know what's gonna happen here. Someone's gonna do something to force something on me real quick. It's nothing like bad, but it's still kind of like, dude, questionable, very questionable. But anyways, who the heck are these guys? Why are they here? What's going on? Some of them had open wounds. Oh, there's also some blood and gore. Or not really gore, actually. It's not imagery, it's just text. So, the blood was staining the floor and the scent was intermingling with the air. I couldn't help but feel bad for them instinctively, but nevertheless, I was still shocked and a bit angry at the sudden intrusion. My mind suddenly went from caring and concerned to confused and demanding answers. Who are you guys? No response. I'll call the police. Still nothing. None of them seemed to be awake or answer or respond to me. It seemed surreal to have random strangers in the house I just moved into. But I wanted answers quickly. That was until... Get away from me!
Going to let me kiss you.
Listen. Fuck you. What a dick. I couldn't believe it myself, but within a mere blink of an eye, one of the men went from lying on the floor to being right in front of my face. What was even more odd was the fact that I felt serene and calm about it. Slowly a desire burned from my chest, telling me to accept his kiss, even when my mind vehemently refused. Look at that art. I won't say anything. It'll be nice. Go ahead. As he kissed me, I could feel my body go weak. I didn't know why, but that kiss was draining me of my energy, and yet it was so good it made my heart sing. It was a strange and tingling feeling that danced over every nerve on my body. I could feel streams of how do you talk? Energy run up my body into my lips. It felt odd, but at the same time, it felt amazing.
Sam, stop it.
Make him. This person kissing me, Sam was his name? Glanced behind him.
I said stop. Now.
See, this is my favorite. This is my bae.
Fine.
Finally, he pulled back, and I was left standing there in a daze. Huh? I couldn't tell what was going on. My mind was completely enwrapped by the kiss and my thoughts, that melted into the depths of my forgotten memories.
Please forgive my brother. He's a bit reckless.
Ah, James, my bae.
At least I feel a hell of a lot better than you right now. Because you used your abilities on her.
Without permission.
Sam, you're such a reckless brute. Taking advantage of a beautiful young woman like her.
Well, see, at least he has some, class. Yeah, you brute. How dare you? Disgusting! Don't force things on people. That's gross. Horrible. Rude. That's why I'll never go for him. I don't care how many dokies he gets for me. I will never ever do a playthrough with him. Probably.
Shut that pretty boy mouth of yours before I rip it off your pretty boy face.
I like his pretty boy face, even if he does sound like my ex.
Sheesh, you guys. Can we not fight like that? Not all of us are in the best state. I guess you are right, Matthew.
Oh, right, and then there's one that's basically Edward Cullen. It's the funniest shit.
I agree.
However, as the men got up and started to chat freely, my thoughts began to reassemble, and I remembered my confusion and anger once again, only now multiplied tenfold. What?
Huh? Did you say something beautiful?
And I exploded. What is going on? Why the hell are you all here in my house? Why are you all wounded? Why did you kiss me? Who are you guys? I couldn't help exploding. But after being taken advantage of and being left in a mush state, my words escaped without filter. I definitely scared the men around me, even the man who kissed me. Wait a second. The guy who kissed me.
Ouch! What's your problem?
What's your problem? You can't just go around forcing people to kiss you like that. Are you some kind of pervert?
Pervert! It was only a kiss!
Uh-huh. Tell yourself that. It might mean nothing to you, but it means a lot to me.
What? Was it your first kiss?
Uh...
Ow! Hey! What was that for?
I know first kisses aren't exactly amazing and full of sparkles and something out of a fairy tale, but I had at least expected it to be more than just something forced.
So it was your first kiss. Stop making such a big deal out of it.
Punch him again. Are you asking to get punched again?
Well, what do you want me to do? It's not like I can somehow take it back.
You should at least apologize. That would suffice. As if to himself, he muttered something under his breath.
Writing letters about the bad guy. Apologies aren't my forte, but I'll try my best.
It starts with some words and being sincere. What is with you? People thinking you're emotionless and strong because of it. No, you're weak.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
Are you? Sorry about what?
I'm sorry for kissing you like that. You're going too far.
Not kissing you like that? I think you mean forcing a kiss on me, but fine. He sighed and ran his fingers through his hair.
I didn't mean for it to turn out that way. It's just, I act on impulse, okay?
I don't care.
It's difficult to control myself.
I don't care.
It's...
What are you saying? You're not an animal? You have coherent thought. You can control yourself and be like, hey man, maybe I shouldn't do that. Dipshit. It's okay. I get what you're trying to say. Thank you for the apology.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyway, if you try to pull any funny business in the future, just a fair warning, I know Taekwondo. I think I've bickered enough. Time to get back to the main issue. So, what exactly are all of you doing in my house?
Miss, please forgive us in our intrusion. We didn't know this abode belonged to anyone, nor did we have the time to take that into consideration.
Well, what do you mean? You don't just barge into people's houses.
We
Right?
wouldn't have had to if we weren't as wounded as we are currently. We just escaped from a deadly fight that could have ended our lives.
I just realized there's a part of that audio where you can hear someone in the background when he's talking. That is so funny. That's fantastic. I love it. I love shit like that. I wonder what they were saying. We wouldn't have had to if... Okay.
Luckily for us, your home was near and the windows were unlocked, so we quickly came inside.
There was some in that one too. The last time I remembered, there were laws preventing strangers from stepping on private property, although, considering the severity of their wounds, it had to be serious. I guess that explains the wounds, but not why he kissed me. He had absolutely no right to do that.
Well, lovely flustered lady, it's hard to explain, truly. We're not exactly normal.
I don't give a shit what you are. Not normal? What are you guys, demons or something? Oh my god, I asked almost jokingly, but the boys seem to take my question differently. Oh my god. They're demons.
Oh, yeah, actually, something like that.
Eh.
We're incubi, miss. Demons who consume and use sexual energy of humans to survive.
Incubi? Or incubi? Incubots? The fabled demons that existed to haunt humans and make them sex-crazed monsters? The mythical beings that could look like anyone just to get into your pants? The imaginary monsters you only saw in movies or on TV?
Hello? Did you hear him? We're telling the truth. Do you think she's still processing it? Yes. And she'll understand right about...
Oh no, I might go for the Edward Cullen one. Right. It was funny while it lasted, but it's time to cut the joke short. Incubots don't exist. There is no way they existed. That would be practically impossible.
Incubi is the correct plural form. And yes, we do exist.
Prove it. As soon as the words left my mouth, I instantly regretted them.
Very well. Eric, go ahead. Very well.
He sounds like my ex. It just makes me so uncomfortable. Like, it makes my skin crawl.
My sweet, you're so tempting with such non-behavior. Let me ease your mind with a tender kiss. I promise you'll enjoy every minute of it. And maybe you'll even want more.
Why his skin's so smooth. What? Once again, I was lost in a pool of calm and serenity. Staring into Eric's eyes, I felt waves of heat course through my chest and onto my face, painting my cheeks red in their wake. I couldn't help but nod and agree to his offer. Yeah, okay. With another kiss, my heart began to flutter once again in my chest, and my mind was sent spinning in a heated, passion-filled pleasure. Yet I could feel my body drain of energy as he kissed me.
All right, that's enough. Aw, very well. I feel so much better.
As he pulled away, I was left in a mental mush pool. I felt weak in the knees despite my will demanding me to stand straight in front of the boys before me. The world around me began to spin as I tried to speak. I think I'm going to...
Where are our manners? I'm James, and these are my brothers, Sam, Eric, Matthew, and Damien. Miss, are you okay? Shit, she fainted.
Eric, you ate too much. I couldn't believe it. Incubus, real? It all spun around in my head until I saw only black. Floating in the darkness, my mind kept replaying the scene over and over again, reminding my body of the touch of the incubus lips against mine. However, I began to feel smooth silk around me and my eyelids unwillingly opened. Alright guys, this is where I'm going to leave off this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Anyways, sorry about that. I did that because my throat's doing a thing. See, when I talk too much, my throat gets really stressed and I can start making noises like that, and then it starts cracking my voice. But anywho, thanks so much for watching today. We are Dungeon Rings. Not really, we're not Dungeon Rings. There's still so many more episodes to go, but now you've met the boys. You've met my baes, who I'm gonna try to date all of. Is someone knocking on my door? Hello? Nope, we're good. So thanks for watching today, guys, and I hope you enjoyed. Yeah. Okay, now we're Dungeon Rings. Bye. See you next time. See ya.